Okay, good morning.
Well, it's
Um,
afternoon. Shame on you.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
You wanted to make this call in the morning, and I was tied up, so I'm glad you were free for the afternoon. So this worked out. Um,
Okay, so for all the members, this afternoon, we're having a conversation with Phyllis Martin, our admin, and this is um, this conversation call is all about um, Phyllis's individual findings and results, if any, that she has experienced in the last 2 weeks after listening entirely to the Your Wish is Your Command audios. So enough said from me. Let's just get right to Phyllis. And that's your first question. What prompted you to jump right in to this information that was given to you as a gift? I'll leave it at that.
well, to be perfectly honest, it was you reminding us that you had put it out on the website, and I had noticed it, but I thought, well, when I get a chance, I'll check and see what that's about. And I never paid any attention because I was working with WordPress on the website, and I was looking at the back door in the back area, the back room, whatever you want to call it, working on website stuff, and I just didn't pay attention to what you put up there. Well, when you mentioned it in one of the calls, I thought, well, shucks, it's been right there. It's a gift. I certainly ought to take a look at it. And it couldn't have happened at a better time because, frankly, I have for quite a while now, since researching rabbit holes from the time I think it was 2008 when actually even before that, 2001, 9/11 got me questioning things. And then 2008, the financial collapse got me questioning more things and checking out what wasn't in the lamestream media. I said, no, there's got to be more to this because this is just crazy. So I was in rabbit hole burnout, though. I was in a blue funk. I was getting depressed. I was getting anxious, worried all the time. My husband was getting concerned about me because this just wasn't my normal nature. I was really letting stuff get to me. So then I started listening more to those DVDs of what Kevin Trudeau was saying about your wish is your command. And it was giving me reminders because I've been exposed to the information. I was in my early 20s when I read Napoleon Hill's Your Wish is Your Command. Not Your Wish, Think and Grow Rich. And I was too young to appreciate what that was saying. But I'm wondering, Jim, do you recall if that is the book that had in it, every day in every way I'm getting better and better? Is that where that came from? Because I read that phrase so many years ago, but I cannot remember the source.
Actually, it was a song. That phrase comes from a song by John Lennon. If you remember,
heard it before. I think I heard it before
It's called "Beautiful Boy."
Oh, well, and then maybe where I read it was quoting that.
He sings that, yes, every day in every way, it's getting better and better and better.
Well, this wasn't it's getting better and better. It was I'm getting better and better.
Yes.
That is a real powerful difference for an individual.
I use it all the time.
Yes. And I just talked to somebody else. I am having, since watching that Kevin Trudeau, or listening, whatever you want to call it, I have been getting so many bits of serendipity, and I love serendipity. I love those moments when things just sort of click, when something feels really good, and I thought, I was just talking about that, and here something else comes up that matches up with it. It's so great. Anyway, I went way back to being interested in esoteric subjects. From the time I was in my 20s, I started studying astrology and just reading books on different kinds of philosophies, theories, ideas. And then later on, I got into looking at the law of attraction. But I kind of kept putting this on the back burner, thinking, oh, it looks like something I could be interested in, but my brain is interested in skipping to this and skipping to that and jumping into this and jumping into that. It doesn't go in the more direct focus way, which is really what you want to make that material work. What's in there is a way to direct your mind to get results and get what you want, and not going on automatic pilot and letting your mind just go any place, because you don't know where you're going to end up. And certainly if you have any kind of goals whatsoever, it makes it that much harder to reach them if you don't pay attention to what you're doing.
Focus.
That is it. And I've been kicking myself most of my life about having a sloppy memory, remembering things randomly. I'll remember the darndest things you wouldn't think I'd remember, and then things I really want to remember, they're off somewhere. I don't know where they are. All I know is that I know that I remember things better when I focus. And this material is talking about focus, and I thought, well, I'm going to put something out there. I'm going to say, I want a vibrant, healthy body. Because I don't want to say, I don't want backaches, and I don't want dry eye problems, and I don't want this problem, and I don't want that. I'm going to say, I want a vibrant, healthy body. And then work my darndest to say, okay, I'm not going to figure out how this is supposed to work. Because if I do, that's not a good idea. Because I'll start doubting that it is going to work. I need to focus on just having a good time, playing more music, getting out of my funk, getting out and about, and just enjoying my time on planet Midgard. Instead of planet Earth, Midgard. So, anyway.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Well, that thing about you're driving an automatic pilot instead of directing yourself. That's important. That's very important.
Unconscious competence.
That's, yes, those keywords that they have in that series of those, every one of those DVDs is got a piece in there that's valuable. I like the way Kevin Trudeau spells things out, gives examples, gives good advice and suggestions, and very encouraging, and not beating anybody up over being negative or worrying or whatever, because we kind of are programmed that way from the get-go. But this is encouragement. Put that behind you and get out of your own way and just focus and focus on your goals. Feel good about what you're planning. At my age, it's more like a bucket list, but anyway, I figured, what the heck? I might as well enjoy it. I might as well figure out what I want to do with my time, how I want to do it, etc. But look for those lucky little clues that are going to come along the way to point me in the right direction to get what I want, to be alert to it and pay attention. Because if you don't pay attention, you'll miss stuff. And there's going to be a lot of little serendipity kind of things that go on. I can see it. I can see how it could happen. But I don't focus on how it's going to happen or I'll mess it up. It doesn't work that way. You just put it out there and the universe sort of draws it in. You become a magnet. That's pretty cool, huh? Does that sound about right? Did I pick up the right clues from this?
Well, you explained it perfectly, and yes, that is the law of attraction. The highest law in the universe supersedes all other laws. So whether you believe it or not, it's working in your experience, has been all your life. But now you have the tools and the techniques to be able to use it correctly to your advantage, which is why he hammers it. You can be and do anything you want when you're using this correctly and you're using the correct recipe, which wasn't given to you by the book that you mentioned or the DVD, the series, The Secret. It was a great book. It's a great DVD, but it was a watered down version. Now that you understand the real recipe on how to do this, it explains that information didn't work for many people because it was a watered down version. It didn't give people the real recipe to create whatever you want in your experience. Okay, so you mentioned that you've already chosen a chief aim, and say it again.
I want vibrant health.
Vibrant health. Simple as that. And yep. Have you chose to, well, obviously, you didn't get specific on that. So you just put that out there as a general intention.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
And for certain things that might be needed in my body might need, I watch for clues. Like maybe I need to do certain things to sleep better, since insomnia was an issue. So I think, okay, I'll just keep an eye on what are some things that will help me sleep better, or certain things I might eat. Just focusing on positive things, letting the negative things set aside. I can be aware of them. I just don't want to react to them the way I did before.
And just feel good.
And just
all the time.
Feel good.
And if you're
Despite
not,
what's going on in the world, just say, okay, it's going on. And unless I find something concrete to do about it, I'm just going on with my own business.
Exactly. Because like we just talked about earlier, the two Amish guys talking, and one says to the other, I wonder why COVID has not affected us. And the other guy says, because we don't have television. So you just nailed it. You just said.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, that stuff really isn't going on. It's just a total distraction, and yeah, the majority of people are buying into it, and that's what's causing all the, because of the fear, and, look what it's created. But we don't have to participate in that,
That's right. We don't.
And,
it's a choice.
And you will see things come into your experience just by what you're focusing on and feeling good about it all the time. All that other stuff will just bounce right off. It'll have nothing to do with your experience, and you'll still be able to create whatever you want in your particular experience. So since you started doing this is 2 weeks. You said you've been through the entire series more than once.
Well, actually, I haven't been through the series so much as I have been through my notes I took during the series. And I will be going through the series, as I think I showed you the other day, since
Yes.
I went to eBay and got the whole set right here. Very nice set. And I've got The Strangest Secret, which is a quick read. That's Earl Nightingale. Kevin Trudeau, as you know, provided a whole list of recommended books. It's a suggestion to help your focus by kind of saturating yourself with these positive reinforcements of the material, of the information. You're going to learn a lot, and it's going to help deprogram some of your negative stuff. Overlay it with positive things, with positive possibilities. Who was it that came up with that phrase, the field of all possibilities? I don't remember.
It helps you to eliminate that big black ball of energy that we've all created our entire lives. And by doing this and using this information and listening over and over and over, you start to replace that big black ball of energy with opening up new neural pathways in your brain. I heard you talk about this on the call last week. Most people wouldn't understand what you're talking about, which is why it's so important to at least listen to the entire series, because once you do that, you have the basic fundamentals on how to do this. There's so much more information that comes after, but for us, if you just focus on that weekend that they put together of 12 audios, if you simply just focus on that and listen to them over and over again for as long as it makes you feel good, you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed, and that's just the fundamentals. Once you get that down, you can do whatever you want.
Get out the popcorn, put on some nice mellow background music. The music we were talking about before, who was that? Chuck Wild, I think it was. The one I liked, Liquid Mind 7 or something like that. There's something about that music and listening to his words that has a profound effect. And I think that probably it's doing some positive programming in your head in a really important way. I really do. The music entrains the information somehow. Anyway, I've been enjoying doing it that way, listening to it. I didn't start out that way with the music, and then one of his DVDs, he was saying something about music, and I thought, yeah, I'll put some music on with this. Sure enough, it's great, just great. I really enjoyed it that way. I can't recommend it enough. And the reading list, well, that's quite a reading list. This book, this Earl Nightingale, which is really a profound little book, it's just got a few words, but let's see if I can, what was it? Something in here that I wanted to repeat because it makes something, we become what we think about. It was what you were saying too. You become what you think about. What you think is what you get. As you sow, so shall you reap, for the people who like to refer to the Bible. But this one, William Shakespeare, our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt.
So true.
And George Bernard Shaw, people are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, make them. And you call them to manifest. You call them to you by focus and by excitement, because you know you're going to get what you want.
And that information has been around as long as we've been here, and, it just makes you think, for our group, especially, we're already primed for this information. As you know, I've just been dropping nuggets all along. You've probably heard some of them and probably even thought yourself, what's with this guy? The stuff he's saying.
Not true. Mm-mm.
Whether you did or not, doesn't really matter. But, I knew from the start, eventually we were going to come to this place where we'd be able to get this information to the core members that we have. Some of them already instinctively use this information. I don't have to even mention names. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
And again, quite frankly, we all have been using it. We just haven't been using it correctly. But when we do, it's unlimited what we'll be able to accomplish as a group. Focusing on...
I would say it's not so much just correctly as not to your best benefit, not to the greatest benefit.
Correct.
Because what was it he was saying, this guy? He said something about success, that you have a goal and you reach the goal. Whatever that goal is, it might not be your goal or my goal, but you're a success, even if all you wanted to do was work as flipping burgers in a burger joint. You're a success if that's your goal.
Yep.
So you don't have to say it on terms of great amounts of money or a big house or this or that. You can just say, if that's your genuine goal, that's what you feel in your heart, that's where you put your emotion and your focus, you're a success. It's kind of an amazing idea. So I like this little guy's little booklet here. The Strangest Secret, Earl Nightingale. It's those kinds of things that you expand on from the basis of watching or listening to those Trudeau DVDs, because it's all in there. It's all in there. But I still like what you said about inside our skulls, what's there, waiting for us to use.
Well, you must have gotten to that. I think it's audio 5, where he explains it much better than I ever can. You know, I just put out the watered down version of how he actually explains it. If you listen to that particular audio 5, Kevin Trudeau explains it perfectly. And, you know, that's what's so great about that guy. He's a teacher. You know, yes. I can't teach this stuff. I've used it to my advantage from day one. I could tell stories, but I can't teach this to anyone. You know, I'm not that articulate like he is. You know, he's a master. You know, I've mastered things in my life, but not this. I'm a student like everyone else, and I'll admit it. And that's what keeps me going. I'm like an information sponge. You know, there's nothing more important or more exciting that I could think of doing. You know, especially at this time in my life. You know, I mean, it's pretty much like I've said when this whole lockdown crap started. You know, I kept coming on the call, and people would ask me, like Demi would ask me, you know, how do you stay so calm through all this? You know, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me at all. You know, because quite frankly, I've been doing this since, you know, for 10 years, 10, 12 years. This is what I've been doing ever since I saw this coming. You know, I'm not saying I didn't predict it, because, you know, I didn't quite frankly know how it was going to come, but I knew it was going to come, just because of going through 2008, the experience I had then. You know, they never fixed anything. So this was inevitable. I didn't know how they were going to do it, but here we are. And again, doesn't affect me one bit. I do the same things that I enjoy doing all the time, whenever I feel like it. And just like those two Amish guys.
Yeah, really.
Has no effect on me whatsoever.
Keep the TV off. Yeah, I don't even watch unless it's tied into some other YouTube thing I'm watching. I don't watch the mainstream garbage, because I know what it is. I know they're not going to, most of what they're saying is not going to be the truth. You would wish they would be like they used to be back in the day, when they would just give you the news, report the facts. But that's not their agenda now. So. Oh
yeah, it's just one big distraction. You know, they're distracting people not only from the financial situation that they're in. Thomas tells us all the time what a desperate situation they're in. And yes, it's the financial system the old system has to collapse. It's inevitable. You know, it always has been. but they're also distracting people because too much information got out about the pedophilia and the child trafficking and torture. That's what it's all about. Coming
As
right
well
from
as the money laundering and the
all
deals
the
they're
evil
making
stuff.
with other countries. So much. I mean, you think of something that people could be doing wrong. They're just doing it. They're just doing it. It was interesting, the post on, what's his name? I can see him right now. You put a post out from, oh shoot, I'm going to forget his name. See? A little memory glitch. My mind is all over like a little rabbit jumping down.
Oh, Jordan Maxwell?
Hole. Thank you. You read my mind. Good.
Wow.
Yeah.
One.
I have been following him off and on for a while. And he has put out so much information that's been hidden, put a lot out, a lot like Thomas, but he's been at it for quite a while. But he has turned much more into a mode of kind of a hopelessness. We're stuck. There's no way to get out of this. You might as well call him a doomsday philosopher, if you would. He's gotten that way. But at the end of the video, he said one thing that was really profound that makes you realize, no, it's not hopeless. He says, learn about this information. Knowledge is power. That saying that knowledge is power is the most important thing for us to remember, because indeed it is. Because with that, you'll kick in your creativity. You'll figure out those intention statements. You'll figure out in visualizations. You can work on a spiritual level. You can work on any way you want. You can visualize all the things that you want that you're not going to get if the world just falls apart. So you visualize what you want, focus on that. And other things will change because they have to. They have to.
No doubt. No doubt. It's a law.
Yeah. It's the way it works. And as soon as the habits of doubting or worrying or thinking the opposite of what you want, those things, when you feel those coming for a while, where did I put that? I had a rubber band and I put it around my wrist. When I felt myself going back into that big black ball or whatever, I would snap my wrist to remind myself, don't do that. That's not going to get you anywhere. Break that habit. So it was a little reminder thing. I had, what you said about us manifesting. I had this experience. I worked in Palm Springs at City Hall there for a while after I retired from IBM. And I'm so ashamed. I worked for IBM for a long time. Anyway, anyway, after I retired, I worked there at Palm Springs, and then I worked at their convention center. And after work, I would be driving down Palm Canyon, and there was this El Torito there, and I would stop for a meal and maybe a margarita, a glass of wine, whatever. But when I parked my car, I look up the hill, and they were building this great big house. I thought, well, somebody's got some bucks, and that's a nice looking house. That's real interesting. So every time I see there, I see that house, I look up there and say, wouldn't it be fun to see the inside of that house when it's done? And so for months, maybe once a week, I'd stop at El Torito, and I'd look up at that house, and I said, wouldn't it be fun? Oh, well, yeah, maybe it won't happen, but it doesn't matter. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. No, who cares? Whatever. But it would really be fun. And I'd wave at the house, say, hi, house. Hello, people who have that house. Things like that. Anyway, at work, there was this guy. I think it was an after-hours get-together. We were celebrating somebody's birthday. I don't know. And I mentioned to him about this house up on the hill. He says, well, I know the guy who owns that house. I said, you're kidding. I tell you, I said, and then I told him my little story that I would look up at the house and wouldn't it be fun to see it? He said, do you want to see it? He says, wait here, I'll go make a call. So, I mean, we can manifest, even if it seems a silly, simple thing like that, but what fun that was for me. It was a great house. It was neat. I mean, it was thrilling. I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about that experience because I was so surprised. Oops, sorry. Just a second.
Right. And as you go along and by using this, you get to unconscious competence where everything just becomes automatic. Life just becomes your playground. You know?
It becomes automatic, but you stay focused because you don't want to miss your clues. You don't want to miss your little lucky serendipitous moments that point you in a certain direction to get to your goal.
You are creating your own reality. I call it co-creating because I co-create with Source.
Yes.
And even more powerful, which is why I say, if as a group, when you co-create with Source, we could stop all this madness.
Yes. It's a matter of focusing on what you want, and that's the key. You've got to focus on it. You don't want to get yourself, when you spend that particular time to set up, say, a kind of a wavelength or whatever you want to call it, that heart math thing explains it. I don't know how to explain it, but you create a wave of energy and it reinforces the more people are on that same wavelength or that same, focusing on the same thing. I can imagine there's a great deal one could put together in a positive way. Definitely. I see no reason why not. We just have to make up our minds to get focused, to encourage people to listen to that material so they know what the heck we're talking about.
It's happening.
And understand.
More and more people are jumping in just from, well, I won't say just because of these conversation calls, but I'm sure that has something to do with it. But others are picking up on it just from our Wednesday night calls. You know, absolutely. I hear it all the time, and I look around the room and I can see in their faces, wow, maybe I better start, listening to this, just to, some get back to me, like, I won't mention names, but some contact me by messenger and just say, one last night, as a matter of fact, who wants your email?
Oh, okay.
Because the individual wants to get involved, more involved than they have in the past. Sure. So it's working, and of course it's working.
Well, I have to ask you a question. What made you finally say you were waiting so patiently for us to recognize your gift and start using it? What made you think that particular night on the call to say, I put this out and it's a gift, emphasizing it?
Well, I have and I haven't. You have to remember. I remember, like I said, throwing out these concepts. And yeah, they're not mine. They're just, I keep a book of concepts and quotes, Yeah. And, things that helped me along the way. So I'd throw these things into the mix every now and then and just planting seeds, so to speak. And then the turning point where I just said, well, the turning point was when we disconnected with THI. As you know, a lot of people were angry. A lot of people were disgruntled. As soon as I heard what Thomas had said on that one Thursday night call, I immediately felt free. Mm-hmm. I felt he was giving us an opportunity. I wasn't angry at all. I was joyous. He was giving us an opportunity. He was not only protecting us because of possible lawsuits that could be coming his way, and if we were involved in that, he was protecting us from that. And also, he gave us the freedom, which we were already pretty much on our way to anyway, because like I said, we we created our website. We always had more than 50 members, not that they all participated, but we did have it. And, we were destined to go out on our own anyway. But when Thomas came on and said that, I understood perfectly what was going on. I wasn't, I thought it was great. And what did it do? It gave us the freedom to pursue what we want our way, and not by any guidelines that were set up, such as you discussed with me one day about, having to put profiles, people giving their profile. I was never crazy about that in the beginning. I just went along with it because it was under the THI banner. I didn't have any choice, Right. I voiced my opinion about it in a nice way. I don't want nothing to do with Google, and any of those. It's the first thing I did when Thomas said that. The very next day, I took our group off of all those spreadsheets that were connected to Google. I didn't want people's information. I didn't want mine on there, so I took everybody's off. So it was a freeing experience. And so that's when I thought to myself, well, now's the perfect time. We have some, great people in here. And I also, you remember Vicky saying that one night, that word she threw out there, floundering. That hit me like a brick. And I was like, that's exactly what we're doing. There's no reason for us to flounder. All we have to do is focus. And, that's when I decided, the best thing I can do is get this information to people. And this will change the whole map.
Well, we genuinely got a chance to think differently, because that wasn't getting us anywhere. In fact, for the whole THI thing, I think so much you could read into the comments and things posted. People were focused, and I admit it, I've been there on that fear porn wagon. I have, where every day I was going to look, okay, what's the next terrible thing that's happened? Or what's this? What's that? And it's easy to do. And you can see by a lot of things that get posted, the majority of things getting posted are fear stuff. And that's just not very encouraging to dwell on that all the time. So I figure, well, and we can think differently. We can look at positive ways to make change in any way, shape we can. But
right. And you have to admit
tools
also,
right here.
Yes. You have to admit also that, and I will, if you remember, I came on a call right after Thomas said that. And I said, okay, for me, there's going to be no more pretense. I tried to hammer that word in. And I was serious, because I was really tired of somebody would ask me a question about, well, how are we going to do this? Remember how many times people would say, how are we going to get the money to to purchase this property? Some people, like Willow, was out there running around. She was already talking to people about making furniture.
Yes. She was getting prepped. She was ready.
We were talking about the 3D printers. We're going to be printing homes on this property that we didn't even have. And a lot of people were saying, well, hold on here. We're putting a lot of work into this. Where's all this going to come from? And everybody, the only answer we could provide to people was, well, when the funding becomes available, you see? So once Thomas did that, bingo, I had an opening. I had the freedom to say, I don't have to say that anymore. I don't have to tell people, well, I was under THI guidelines, that's what I had to say, or else possibly be reprimanded, or ostracized, like some people are good at doing,
Unfortunately, yes.
So again, for me, that was just an opening. And I thought it was the best time to provide this information. And so far, I feel real good about it.
Well, I think what people is going to happen is, yes, the Eco Village idea is a brilliant idea. Willa was doing some fantastic, I mean, I didn't know that gal had all that skill to do that, but she's doing some fantastic planning, organizing, ideas coming right and left. Bill was coming out with some information that was fantastic on how you set up the farm equipment thing, and you name it. All that was building, it was great. But the questions they were asking was, how do we get the money? How? That's where you don't go. You leave that alone. You say what you want. You want the Eco Village. You draw a plan out how you want it to look and put your vision board out, do all this stuff to piece it together. And from there, you say, this is what I want. And each day you look at your vision, you focus on it, you get excited about the idea of what that could mean for people. And as Willa was saying, all the young people she wants to help and bring them in and get them to work on the farms and create art and do all the many things they can do in a place like that. But you don't say, well, how are we going to do this? Funding, whatever. You just say, this is what we want. This is what we focus on. This is what we do, our group mind focus. But in the meantime though, we need to make changes to the energies that are on this planet. We need to disrupt what they're doing, the deep state. We need to disrupt what they're doing because there is going to be interference in getting that Eco Village. So we need to get the groundwork laid. We need to encourage the thinking that will change the energies and entrain the people around us and spread it around. And in other words, the old saying, make waves, but positive waves. That's it. Simple as that.
Right. It was that afternoon Tuesday call where Kimberly came on. And again, I got a smack in the head because here I'm thinking, well, we can still, using this information, we can still go forward with our projects and plans. And yeah, we can still create all that. But then Kimberly came on and she said, we were talking about the first thing in front of us, our first chief aim. And Kimberly just said it, and it just knocked me off my chair. She said, we have to live first in order to get to that place. So you see, sometimes you have to sit back and say to yourself, what's the first thing in front of our face right now that we need to focus on before? We don't have to forget about those things. We put a lot of work into it, and it's still there. It's still in our memory banks, and we could adjust once we change the atmosphere, change the reality of the present situation. Nothing can stop us from moving further with all those things.
Absolutely.
But it's just freeing to be able to say to people, honestly, I don't know how we're going to do it.
Don't worry about that part.
And the more people that understand that, they understand the training balance scale, the how and the why. The how doesn't matter. It's off your radar screen. There's a trillion things that could take place to make that happen.
There are more intelligences in the background taking care of all those little details, all that little stuff that you don't need to worry your pretty heads about. So to speak.
I've had things come in just for that reason, that I didn't even think about. I had things come in from most unexpected places you couldn't even imagine, And so that's why I know it works. And, it, like Ken says, everybody's got their word. Ken said it on his conversation call. Knowingness. It's a knowingness. Once you know this works, oh boy. And we have a group full of Jedi Knights.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Watch out. Indeed, watch out. We have a group of very caring, good-hearted, intelligent, creative people and they're going to grasp this and take off. They're going to grasp it. It's important. They'll know it's important. It'll mean something to them on a personal level, and then we'll see how it can work on a group level.
Well, I have to thank you. I was going to ask some more questions, but you already answered all my questions. And I have
Let me take
off.
off. Boy, I just keep going. Yeah.
I have to. No, I like that. You know, I'm the same way. You know that. But I really have to thank you for your support and for, you know, jumping right in. I didn't have any expectations of anybody when I put this out there, but it's just been thrilling for me to see how many people just went with it, you know, for whatever reason that they chose to just dive in there and to see the smiles on their faces, you know, and to see what some of us have accomplished just in a few weeks. It's just, you know, really makes me feel great.
Well, my husband already is, I think, very relieved to see me in a better frame of mind. Absolutely. Has made a huge difference, because that's fundamental. You don't want to be in a funk over.
It works for everything. Relationships, any part of your experience, this information works, and better than anything else out there that I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
You know?
I will mention one other thing. For certain things, when you've got the shadow work you're doing, or you've got that big black ball we were talking about. But let me see, was it? I don't think. Oh yeah. Kevin Trudeau mentions some of the ways to break up some of the negative patterns and what have you is emotional freedom technique, the Gary Craig thing.
Yes, EFT.
It's a card that has the techniques for tapping on your head. It's an energy change. If people aren't familiar with it, they should get familiar with it, because it does work. You just have to keep at it. It's a little routine you get into, and it does clear up some old stuff that you want to get rid of that's getting in your way.
Yeah, I didn't want to push too much on people, you know, from the beginning. Anyone that just, like I said, listens to those 12 audios, for as long as you're enjoying it, and you know, you're still learning, those are the basics. All that other information, you can incorporate as you go along. The Callahan technique, Roger Craig. I went to conferences for both of those. Gary Craig?
Gary Craig.
Okay. Oh, Roger Callahan. Okay. I went to conferences for both of those. One was in Palm Springs for an entire weekend with the Callahan technique. And I mean, that's another one. You got to have it in your tool bag. That will help you change your vibration immediately. If you wake up, you're in the funk. We all do it, you know, for one reason or another. You don't have to. Use that Callahan technique with the tapping. I even have a machine that I hook myself up to that does it for me. I could just be sitting in a chair, watching a video or reading something, and I just hook this thing up to me. It's called a Unimed. My son gave it to me. It does the same thing. You just put these things on the pressure points, and then you hit a particular tapping. There's about 12 different tapping tones that you punch on one at a time, and it just creates this particular tapping vibration. And I use it for all kinds of things. If I have lower back pain or something like that, or yeah, for if you just don't feel good, you know, hook yourself up, or you can do it yourself. You're sitting on a bus bench and you're not feeling good, you know, things are overwhelming, whatever. And if you know those pressure points, you just tap on them, you can snap yourself right out of it.
There's even, I got some list here that even shows you holding each of your fingers, your thumb and then your fingers, for a period of time, because each of these is tied to different organs in your body, and it makes a difference to the energy there. We can do so much for ourselves.
There's so much information there that, I can't say what people are going to resonate with,
Yeah.
There's some things that I got into and I still do them to this day. I'm sure there's plenty of other things out there. Like we had a full website full of information that makes our website look like for toddlers,
Well, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, I'm not criticizing it, but we had stuff on our global information website that things like mega memory, he developed that. Kevin Trudeau is like Mark Passio, Thomas. This guy's a genius. Again, why is he in prison? Ta-da.
Because the deep state didn't like what he was sharing.
Right. And he was a benevolent elite, including all of the people that he brought with him to the network. And most people don't even know their names. But, he had some incredible mega math for people that, need that. I was pretty not good at algebra or anything like that, but I was pretty good I was in construction, so I was real good with measurement, and it really helped me out. I used to be able to walk into a room. I told you I was in construction. I had my own tile and natural stone business up in Lake Tahoe. I used to be able to walk into a room and literally measure it just by looking at it. I could measure the room just by looking at it. I didn't even have to throw down a measuring tape.
Wow.
And that's something I learned from his mega math site that he gave us. And like I said, there's others, mega memory. And he developed all these. He developed the Golf Channel and then wound up selling it to Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus. You ever see the Golf Channel on it's its own channel. It's called the Golf Channel. You can get it on cable TV. You have to order it. He developed that. This guy was like probably the king of infomercials, if you remember them back in the day.
Oh, sure.
You could turn on, I don't have television, but back in the day I did. I had cable along with maybe one or two movie channels and a football channel, of course. But you could turn that on any time of day. Night, midnight, early in the morning, Kevin Trudeau would be on there doing an infomercial. Unbelievable individual. Never seen anything like it. But anyway, again, Phyllis, thank you so much. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't. I don't right now. I may have some as time goes on because you're so experienced with this, and I appreciate that. And thank you for the gift because, as I said, it was perfect timing for me.
That's usually how it works.
Yes.
And that's kind of what, when I asked, what prompted you, you were ready. That's what prompted you.
Yes, I was. I was very ready. Indeed. Well, thank you again. Enjoyed this. This was fun.
We'll do it again.
Okay. I'll interview you.
Yep. Along the way, that's going to happen.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jim.
Okay. Thanks so much, Phyllis. Enjoy your day. It's beautiful out there. I'm heading to the beach again.
Good. Don't get burned. See you Wednesday night.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.